Porsches are sleek, amazing vehicles. But in a world captivated by SUVs, it wasn't much of a surprise when the German sports car maker introduced a few of its own. But then it unveiled the Panamera sedan. The first version was weird, and maybe a little ugly.
But then after a facelift, we got this. The Porsche Panamera 4 e-hybrid sport Turismo, starting at $104,000. And yes, that name is a mouthful, but it also denotes the amount of vehicles that are combined inside this package. First off, it's a station wagon. So let's say you finally have the cash to get the car of your dreams, but you still have to take the kids to school. The automaker decided, you know what, you still deserve that car, just bigger.
It'll comfortably seat 4. There's room for 5, but I have no idea who you could cram into that middle seat. Meanwhile, the cargo bay has enough space for a Costco run as long as you take into account the swoop of the hatch and remove the giant suitcase that holds the home charging kit. At the same time, it's also a hybrid. Porsche tells me that the hybrid system isn't so much for saving gas, but really to give it some extra oomph while in Sport and Sport Plus mode. Just stomp on the accelerator and the 516 foot-pounds of torque and the 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds will convince you that the electric motor is doing its job. But you can also drive this car in e-power mode, a pure electric mode, for up to 30 miles at speeds up to 90 miles per hour. That's pretty efficient, and more than enough for a short commute or errands near the house. In fact, the car defaults to e-power mode when it starts up. It also has a solid hybrid mode that's great for regular driving, and there's a good chance that folks who buy this car will hop back and forth between hybrid and electric mode a majority of the time they're behind the wheel. And it's a plug-in hybrid, so you can charge it like this, or
you can charge like this.
Remember how Porsche insisted that the hybrid system really wasn't an efficiency play? This is what they're talking about. In Sport and Sport Plus mode, the Panamera aggressively recharges the battery so it has the power when you want to put the hammer down.
Yes, it's a hybrid station wagon, but it's also a Porsche, and it's ready to deliver on that experience after you drop the kids off at school and you're done with your errands.
It's got an all-wheel drive drivetrain with the gas engine and electric motor both ahead of the transmission. So there's no difference in how the system works whether the wheels are being pushed by oil or electrons. And they work together for a very fun driving experience.
While behind the wheel of the Porsche Panamera 4 e-Sport Hybrid, you can very quickly change the drive modes via this little dial right here on the steering wheel. You just turn it and I'm in hybrid mode, I'm in sport mode, I'm in Sport Plus mode. Back to E mode, which is great because on most cars there's a button, usually here in the center console, and you just keep tapping it trying to get to the mode you're looking for. This is better.
The rest of the interior can seem a bit confusing at first glance. For example, all the infotainment screens also have their own physical buttons, so there's less scrolling and pecking, and you can actually build up muscle memory for things you use all the time. The widescreen 12.3-inch touch panel is a looker with a bright display. The infotainment system is unique and supports Apple CarPlay, but sadly not Android Auto. Aside from bumming out Android users, I generally liked it most of the time. It's called the Porsche Communication Management, or PCM for short. For one thing, you can configure the homepage, which is great if you only care about a few features. Also, when you reach for the display, additional functions appear on the left-hand side. It's a nifty little bit of flair that shows Porsche did a thoughtful job putting this together. But then there's the information widget that appears on the right-hand side. Sometimes it was just in the way. Once it even blocked the button to start the navigation.
But this weird mix of hybrid, station wagon, and sports car actually works, and it's a blast behind the wheel. Now, if you're feeling especially sporty, you can splurge on the $188,000 S-Turbo version of this car with 680 horsepower. That's insane, and frankly, where are you going to use all that power? I say, even if you have the money to buy that, I would recommend this car. Now, that sounds like blasphemy. It sounds almost as crazy as the 14-syllable name of this vehicle, but it's true.